Hey everyone, this is Gary Kay, and we are here at the Almo E4 experience. And I'm excited about these tech talks. I love doing these tech talks because these are deeper dives on the individual products that are being shown at the E4 events that are being hosted by Almo Pro AV. And of course, this week we're in Dallas, and some of you are watching me live in Dallas. Some of you are watching me through the hybrid experience, the E4 Evolution experience. And I'm here with Holger Stoltze. And Holger is the technical sales and marketing, Senior Director of Technical Sales and Marketing for Yamaha. How you doing, Holger?
I'm doing fine, Gary. How are you?
Doing well. One of my first musical instruments or musical phrase was a Yamaha keyboard, but we're not here to talk about musical instruments. Everyone knows Yamaha. Yamaha has made a big splash in the UCC market over the last few years. And talk about sort of where you are right now with UCC. Like, how is it inside the Yamaha organization? Is it a different group? Is it part of all of Yamaha? And then talk about your flagship product.
Okay, no, so within Yamaha, we actually are, as Yamaha Unified Communications, we are a separate business unit, really focusing specifically on the unified communications market, on the products, on the needs of the market, and really focusing on building the right products for the use cases which our customers are seeing out there. And as such, we are developing all of the time everything which has to do specifically audio, as you were just talking about, music instruments, of course, microphones, speakers, DSPs, amplifiers, whatever you need, but also, of course, some of the other products which we have in the UC market for video conferencing and other solutions.
And one of the products that's here at the E4 is the, and I'm hopefully pronounce this right, Audacia.
Audacia. That's correct. It's so Audacia actually is a product which we have announced now a little bit more than a year ago, and it really is like a family of products which provides several components to really improve audio experience in the conference room. It comes with different microphone options. So you can either have a beamforming ceiling microphone, or you can have the tabletop microphones, which have a lot of different settings, which actually allows you to use it in all different kinds of environments, all different kinds of use cases. It comes with line array speakers, which allow you to have best audio out in the room. Really providing the same volume level, independent on whether you're on the front of the room or the back of the room, you can hear these speakers the same way. And then an intelligent room processor, which actually brings all of the components together, provides you one interface to the computer. But that intelligent room processor also does a lot of things which have to do with setup, with configuration, with auto tuning. So an Audacia solution actually is if you have all of the components, they're all connected via network using Dante, PoE powered, and then this room processor in the Audacia system actually detects all of these units, sets up the Dante communication automatically, so you don't have to know anything about Dante or network audio, and then it actually starts a tuning process to improve the audio in the room, in that specific room, for that specific user, or that specific use case. So it becomes a very easy, very simple setup, and allowing integrators to do retuning automatically remotely, or tuning the first time and go to 10 rooms in a day and do the installation. So it's really meant to help in the overall process of rolling out systems, getting them run, and keep them running the best way as any customer would like.
So the different microphone options, I'm assuming that you pick those based on the size of the room?
That's correct. It's and size of the room, again, use case, a little bit budget, of course, as well. Yeah. Right. So if you take a ceiling microphone, and our ceiling microphone is beamforming, actually dynamic beamforming with multi-beam technology, so it actually is able to cover a large area of the room and several people in that area. So even if you have a very active discussion between different people, because we have multi-beams, we are able to capture all of them and deliver the audio to the far end. But a beamforming microphone, as I usually say, it is further away from the person, right? So it is up on the ceiling, so it's several feet away. If you are in a loud environment, if there's a lot of background noise, there's nothing to do with what the beamformer does. It simply is not a good acoustic room. And so in that case, it might make sense to get microphones closer. Now, what is closer? The table is closer. So that's when the tabletop comes in. And so it really depends on what does a customer want, what is their environment. But we have the solution for all of these.
Now, what about Meet, Teams, Zoom certification, any of that in the product line as well?
All of that is being lined up right now, and we can't say that we are, but we are close. And we see that as an important step. So we're working with both Microsoft and Teams and others, Microsoft and Zoom and others, to actually get that certification done. Because we realize that specifically IT departments or larger organizations absolutely say, hey, is it certified? So I can say already it works perfectly together with it. You can mute control that's going on. It gets the information from Teams. It sends the information to Teams. So the integration is already there. And we're just waiting for the final stamp of approval.
Okay. That's good to know, because obviously as companies move back into offices, they're going to select one of those platforms usually to run the room. But what about the remote joiner in that room? Tell me about the experience that they get, because one of the problems with these systems that I've seen, the all-in-one systems, is that they don't have the audio processing power to help the remote participant have the same experience. So for example, ambient noises in the room, you can hear them through the remote, even stuff like clicking on keyboards and opening chip bags. How about your DSP with regard to that?
It's interesting to talk generally about the new hybrid experience, right? So that is a topic which we have looked at now for, well, actually before the pandemic started, because more and more people were starting to work from remote or work from home. So yes, number one, you have to make sure that the best audio is being delivered, and that requires all of these audio post-processing, noise reduction, de-reverberation, echo cancellation, actually identifying what is voice versus what is noise, to actually focus the microphones on that. And all of that's actually within the microphones, whether it's tabletop or whether it is the ceiling microphone. It is already in there. What we see, what is important for this new hybrid environment, is actually to be able to capture what people are saying, independent on where they are in the room. The room setup is different. We are no longer all like tied together and shoulder to shoulder to the next person, right? So now we are 6 feet apart, hopefully, in the room, and we're doing all of this. So the room actually is different, and it changes from meeting to meeting. And that is where the dynamic behavior, both of the ceiling microphone as well as of the tabletop microphones, actually comes in as a help to provide the best audio pickup, to provide the best audio experience to the far end. So yes. All of that built into the product and ready to roll for this new hybrid world.
And all of them have cameras built in, right?
No, so that is it's an audio only system.
Okay.
It
you
works.
Can connect any camera to it.
Correct.
Okay. And correct. It's connected USB, just like any UCC device.
Correct.
Okay, good. And do you have any accommodations for cameras? Like I've seen some of the systems have magnets on there so that you could do that, or do you just assume that the camera is going to be a PTZ that's mounted?
Yes, because it is typically a PTZ camera. In large rooms, it might be a smaller electronic ePTZ camera in a smaller room. So we don't restrict anybody on the camera here, so they can select the camera which fits their environment. I should say we are working together right now with several camera manufacturers as well to do auto tracking. Because specifically the ceiling microphone gives, as some of the camera manufacturers already told us, the best information they've ever seen on where people are and where really the voice comes from. And I've seen already first prototypes or first solutions of some of these companies who actually show where people are and really track pretty good based on the information from the camera. So these are things which we are working on right now as well, and over the next few months you will see more and more coming out in that direction.
Yeah, well, then people need to pay attention, right? They need to check out what Yamaha is doing. And of course, you can check that out all online. But of course, you can go to your Almo rep as well. And the sound options team inside of Almo Pro AV knows all this. This is their expertise is audio and sound. So check them out. Rob Ziv, of course, heads up that team. Holger, thank you very much for joining me today. Thanks for joining us here at the E4.
Okay, thanks, Gary.
Thank you, everyone. And thanks for watching. Keep looking around the page here. Don't leave. We got lots more content.